Thank you for joining today, everyone who's in the audience. We're going to be talking about mass data updates in the Oracle ERP Cloud. So my name is Bryce, and I have Emil on the line with me. So we're going to be introducing a particular challenge that our clients have been having when it comes to data, what options you have to solve these challenges yourself, and then he'll introduce a tool that CTR has built to make it easier for you and your end users to update data. So I do want to invite you, those of you out in the audience, to use the Q&A feature through our conferencing tool here. I'll be monitoring the chat, and we'll get to any questions you may have at the end. And just to set expectations, we'll probably present for about 20 minutes, and we'll have around 5 to 10 minutes at the end for Q&A. So, Emil, you can kick off your intro.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. So a little bit about us. My name is Emil Verghese. I'm the technical director with CTR. I have around 17 years of experience with enterprise applications, including like Oracle EBS, Fusion Cloud, business intelligence, and various middleware technologies like Dell Boomi, Oracle's Integration Cloud, like that. My strength lies in Oracle Financials, supply chain, and HR modules. Bryce, do you want to?
Sure. Yeah, thanks, Emil. So, hey, everyone, my name is Bryce Burke. I'm the consulting sales manager here at CTR. Just a little bit about me. I've been in the world of enterprise applications for almost 5 years at this point. Before joining CTR, I was with Oracle, actually, for about 4 years on the application sales side. And I'm formally educated in corporate innovation and MIS. So my mission is definitely to help people like you implement and utilize Oracle solutions to bring about positive change within your organizations. So I'll pass it back off to you for
Thank you. Yeah. So today's agenda, we'll look at a few challenges that cloud throws, and particularly in how data updates can be done within cloud. And then we'll go ahead and look at the tool itself, which helps to make that data update a little bit easier, and then finally open it up for questions. So when we talk about cloud, there are a lot of areas where cloud excels, right? So it significantly lowers the ownership cost. It provides better ways for easier access. They have a way to continuously upgrade the system, and depending on the patch cycle, it can be quarterly or bi-yearly, things like that. It has the best UI, the user interface, the latest technologies. It definitely lowers the maintenance cost. And when you talk about infrastructure, it's hosted or it's a SaaS product, so infrastructure cost there is nothing. But in our experience, where there are a couple of areas where cloud has a little bit of a drawback. One is like integrations, so cloud is a SaaS product, and to integrate with cloud or integrate cloud with external systems, you typically have to go through one of these integration or middleware technologies like Dell Boomi or Oracle's OIC. And the other challenge that we have found is where you have to load or update data within cloud. So we are going to look at how data updates are performed in cloud in the next sections.
And Emil, when you say, just to be clear, when you say data updates, you're not referring to Oracle's quarterly cloud updates, correct? So in what context do you mean data updates?
That's right. It's not the quarterly updates. These are updating the data within cloud. Like, let's say you need to apply a receipt or create an invoice within cloud. That's what we're talking about.
Got it. Okay, thanks.
So what are the options that cloud provides for data updates? So there are a few options. The first one that we'll look at is something called FBDI, which is a file-based data import. So Oracle or these cloud providers have these pre-built templates, where You download the template, fill in the details, upload it back to cloud, and then the data gets updated into cloud, right? So I'll just quickly hop out of the presentation and show you an example. So this template, it's the journal import template for cloud. Right? Now, as you can see, this is a pretty exhaustive template. It's actually got probably 80 fields, right, to go through and fill up details, all the way until, Now, obviously, we don't have to fill all the fields, but still, user will have to kind of go through these columns one by one and figure out, hey, this is what I need to put in, right? Now, they do provide, book which says which fields are mandatory, but definitely a user might run into an issue in saying, hey, which field do I need to do? I need to fill this field, or and might need technical help, right? So this is the first way to update data. Let me go back to the presentation.
Yeah, so Emil, I could see that, like, as a business user being a little bit overwhelming. So yeah, I guess I wouldn't know which columns were like required and which ones I would need to fill out. So I know you showed a little way to do it, but yeah, I'd love to see some other ways here.
Sure. So like we saw in this template, I mean, the key challenges with this approach is these templates are pretty comprehensive, and most likely a technical person's help will be required. And the other thing is, like, if you make a mistake, it's not a big deal. You just have to go back and fill in the right fields and do the whole 4-step process again, download, prepare the data file up. So the second option that cloud provides is something called the ADFDI integration, which is these are a little bit more easier, and the templates are right there in cloud in the respective modules. So we have a few screenshots, like for invoices or journals, receipts. So you can go into cloud, download the spreadsheet. It's a little bit, it's not as exhaustive or as comprehensive as FBDI. So it's not that overwhelming, but still, one of the key challenges with this is cloud does not provide these templates for all areas. It's very limited, and not all use cases are covered. Now, a few of the basic ones, yes, that is available, but we have found a lot of areas where these are, limited.
So, for ADFDI, would I be right in saying that this is more user friendly?
Yes, it is definitely more user friendly. But like I mentioned, the key challenge is it doesn't cover all the areas, and not everything can be performed by this method.
And so I know Oracle doesn't provide anything else, but is there any room for customization or extension of these at all?
No, unfortunately, these are provided by Oracle, and there is no way to like add a field or create a template for a new business area. No.
Okay.
The third approach that cloud provides is web services. Now, cloud has an impressive stack of REST and SOAP APIs, and they do keep updating or adding functionality every patch cycle. So this is a much more comprehensive way, or it provides a lot of options. Now, the key challenge or the drawback is this is kind of a technical approach. So it's not meant for end users to run it, and most likely we would need like an external software or a tool, like an integration tool, to actually create this type of integration.
Right. Now, Emil, like it says Oracle Integration Cloud there. Would something like that come with the ERP Cloud subscription, or would that be something extra?
Yeah, unfortunately, these doesn't come with the cloud subscription. It is actually a separate license that clients will have to go out and buy.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So having talked about these three options or standard ways to update data, we'll just quickly look at the tool itself. Now this tool we've built with a client who was running into few issues with uploading data, changing data within the system. So we worked with them, kind of looked at their pain points, and worked on a certain number of use cases that helped them to kind of do these updates quicker. So what did we do for them? So this slide shows what were the use cases that we addressed. So they had a use case where they had to update customer profile information, specifically like updating the collectors within the system. So that's something that we built for them. We built a process where the payments could be batched easily and effectively so that the payment processing could be sped up, right? We had a way, they had a use case to create and apply Oracle receipts, apply these receipts to transactions or invoices within the system. We had to update certain flex fields within cloud, and this tool provides, or we built a solution to actually do that. There is an option to load exchange rates to Oracle Cloud, and so these were some of the key use cases that we kind of addressed with this tool, and made life a little bit simpler for the client. So what is this ERP Mass Updater? So basically it's just a tool that sits out of Oracle or these cloud products. But again, it's built using the modern UI tools. We built ours using AngularJS. So behind the scenes, it uses the standard Oracle APIs that we touched upon a little bit earlier to do the updates. So all the entities are updated securely. And connectivity to cloud is by using a standard service account that is set up in cloud. So it's not like anyone can go and update data. So we have like a screenshot of kind of the tool. So this is just the example that we're showing is just what we built for this particular client, right? And addressing their use cases. But we feel that it's something that can be expanded to meet other needs, because like I mentioned, Oracle is coming up with these updates every quarter, and it's more likely that any particular use case can be addressed. Now, this is kind of a process flow for the tool. So once we go into the particular use case, or what it presents with is we have like a way to upload a CSV file to the system. So in this case, you're just updating descriptive flex fields within an invoice. So you go there, you choose the file, fill up the data. Now these templates are much more simpler. Mostly it has 2 or 3 columns, the bare minimum that is required to actually do the updates. And since we are using the APIs, we always have a way to kind of look up any related field. So let's say if you're updating an invoice, I mean, we can look up the terms or the customer that it, not the customer, but the terms or dates, everything can be looked up based on that invoice number that we provide. So the templates are kind of simple. So once you upload it and run the update, then it kind of provides what the what happened with that update. So basically here, it shows what all records was successful, or if there were any errors, it'll just show, okay, this is the error, just need to update that error and re-upload it so that it runs through. Just wanted to quickly show you one of the templates that we had for this. So this is like the invoice group update. Basically, it's like a 3-column template having the supplier number, invoice number, and the invoice group. So, templates are much more simpler compared to.
Yeah, that seems a lot more accessible.
Right. FDI.
So if I were, if I were to sum this up, Emil, I mean, from what I'm seeing, I'm not a very technical person, but I could see this being a lot simpler for someone like me to do. I think it would really expedite data updates if I were trying to update things in ERP Cloud. And in turn, I think that would take pressure off of my IT department, my administrators, and then it would probably help me eliminate some errors along the way. Would you agree with that?
Right, exactly. So that's exactly the same case with this client we built this product for. They had few challenges with data updates, and we specifically address that with this tool. Yeah.
And you did mention that if there was a use case that maybe someone in the audience did not see up on the last screen, like that would be something we could develop, right?
Right. As long as the API is there, and like I mentioned, Oracle keeps on updating their repository every patch cycle. So most likely the use case that you're looking at would be addressed, or we should be able to address that.
Great, thanks, Emil.
Okay, to talk about a little bit about CTR works.
Yeah, and again, I hope some of the questions I was asking, helped everyone out in the audience understand the solution a little bit more. But again, if you have any questions, please feel free to post it in the Q&A or chat, and I'll definitely be we'll answer that for you. But I do want to briefly tell you about CTR. So CTR is an Oracle certified partner. We've been in business for over 23 years at this point, and for most of that time, we've exclusively worked with Oracle applications. We are led by former US CPAs and controllers, so one strength for us is that we can bridge the gap and communicate to both IT and lines of business. We have over 100 consultants strategically located across the globe with average experience of 15 years in their respective fields of expertise. On top of this, being a global organization, we can support a wide range of time zones, especially if you're a global organization. And we can be more flexible in cost depending on if you're using onshore or offshore resourcing. And one thing I've actually noticed over the pandemic is that we were able to transition to an almost 100% remote model. Luckily, that's feasible now because of how the cloud is built. And we've even seen a lot of our clients returning to the office, and we're still seeing them prefer the remote option for implementations and managed services. So that's just another benefit of running a cloud solution is that we can work on it remotely if need be. As you can see, the logos in the middle, a lot of our clients tend to fall into the financial services, high tech, manufacturing, distribution, retail, e-commerce. And as a matter of fact, at the top, you can see the trade desk. We help them get up to speed on our ERP Mess Updater tool. On the right, our specializations are in the Oracle ERP Cloud, procurement, supply chain, and we have specializations within integrations, analytics, system optimization, and a lot more. So whether you need a little bit of help with your system or a lot of help, CTR can really help. So please don't hesitate to reach out. We'll share our contact information at the end. All right. And just wanted to take the time to thank Quest. Thank you for this platform and for the opportunity to talk about how we're serving the ERP Cloud community. So again, really appreciate that.
Right.
And before we get into Q&A, this is fine, Emil. Just wanted to learn a little bit from our community here. And I do have two quick poll questions I wanted to pop up. So you should be seeing this come through soon. So how are you performing data updates in Oracle ERP Cloud today? So that poll is open. Just curious how you're all doing it today. I'll leave this open for just a minute.
And in the meantime, if any of you have any questions, you can either pop them in the chat or unmute yourself and then ask us. Glad to help.
Okay, so I think I'm going to close that poll question. I'll give everyone another 10 seconds, and then I'll open up the last poll question. Then we'll get to Q&A. Okay. Cool. So somebody's using FBDI. That's cool. All right, so I'm going to open up the second, which is, are you currently working with an Oracle certified partner to help you implement or optimize Oracle ERP Cloud? We're curious how you're leveraging the partner community and if we can help. All right, so I'll leave this one open for another couple seconds here. All right, so I'm going to end that one. All right, thanks everyone. So we are in our Q&A here. Does anyone have any questions? If not, we can talk about the solution a little bit, or yeah. So Emil, I have a question. I know we talked about some of the benefits that the trade desk received when they implemented this mass updater tool. Could you go into some of the things that they saw after they implemented it, whether it's elimination of errors or what kind of benefits were they getting?
So I think the key help was how quickly they could run through some of the scenarios. So they had a scenario where they had to update the collector information at the customer level, right? So they would, maybe reorg or things like that. So they have around 3,500 customers, and to update it manually one by one was, probably a week's worth of effort. So with this tool, they are able to kind of do that, pretty quickly. Just pop in all the details that you need in the template and then upload it.
Sure.
So that was one. The other key area of where they saw the improvement was this payment processing. So they could batch the payments depending on how they wanted to pay out the invoices, right? So that was another significant improvement for them. There were also these data updates or data corrections that we were doing. So they recently went, not recently, they went up on cloud from a legacy platform. So they had a lot of data corrections that they had to do to keep everything in sync. So we were able to do that, or they were able to do that quite quickly using the tool rather than doing it, updating it manually. And these kind of things, it is not provided by these out-of-the-box solutions like FPDI or ADFDI. You kind of have to go through the web service route to get it working.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, yes. So it sounds like there were some repeatable processes that they were kind of doing manually before, and it just speed was the real value here. It sounded like it, at least in the use case. Okay, cool. And so I'm curious, how does this actually integrate with the cloud?
So basically, it uses so behind the scene, it uses all the standard APIs that Oracle provides, right? So it's not like we break the system and create something. we work with the API that's available. And connectivity is always using the service account, which is always created within cloud. So that's how connectivity happens.
Okay, so yeah, you basically set up a user, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So, and I'll ask a question that I'll also answer, which is, if this is something that, you're interested in out there, how would you, gain access to a tool like this? And Emil, if you don't mind switching back to the screen that has our email addresses on it, you can actually email me directly and we can set up a call with you and we can actually walk through what types of use cases you're hoping to employ this tool for. And we can talk to you about how we can actually make this work for your business and improve how you're updating data today. So yeah, the first step is definitely to reach out to either one of us and we'll be happy to help. And if it's just a conversation you're looking to have, or you just have some additional questions, that's totally fine as well. So again, we're here to help, whether you need a little bit of help or a lot of help. Okay.
I think.
All right. So
Time.
I don't see any other questions in the chat or in the Q&A. So I guess we're going to wrap it up. I appreciate everyone for joining today, and yeah, let us know if you need anything. Our contact information is right there, and I hope you enjoy the rest of Innovate. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks everyone.